Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Italian Wine Podcast, as Wine2wine 2020 media partner,
is proud to present a series of sessions chosen to highlight key themes and ideas
and recorded during the two-day event
held on November 23rd and 24th, 2020.
Wine2wine 2020 represented the
First ever fully digital edition of the Business to Business Forum. Visit wine2wine.net
and make sure to attend future editions of Wine2wine Business Forum.
Hello, everybody. Do you hear me? I cannot hear your response. Greetings from Warsaw, Poland. My name is Izabela Kamińska. I'm a wine journalist and wine educator, WSET educator. And I am here to present you Sławek Komiński, who will speak to you about all the wine business in Poland, all the meanders of Polish market, and he's the best person to do it because he's the importer and retailer with a deep knowledge of wine business in Poland.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Isa, for the introduction. Yes, hello, guys. It's believe me, it's not easy to make a presentation when I can't see you and I can't see your reactions. And it's my first experience with the online presentations. So let's start. We don't have too much time, and I've got a lot of information. So as Isa said, I'm a wine lover, especially Italian, and I'm trying to mix my love for wine with business. Sometimes I have to tell you that when I have to pay my bills and my invoices, I realize that it's more love than business. But I have to say that I'm a happy guy. I'm also a member of incredible Vinitaly International Academy community. And this is why I can be here today and share with you all my experiences as an importer and retailer who has been participating in the Polish wine market for over a decade. In my presentation, I'm not going to focus only on the market data. I'm not going to bore you with hundreds of charts and statistics. I want to show you the Polish wine market more from the perspective of human behavior and the social phenomena that can influence on it. I will show you the Polish average wine consumption model and explain you the differences between the Polish and Mediterranean lifestyle, dining, and of course, the wine drinking. All these aspects, I hope, will better understand what Polish customers need and how to prepare or develop an offer and how to communicate with the Polish customers. So let's start. We can say that Polish wine market started when communism fell. And the free market economy has been started. At that time, the first Polish wine importers appeared, and especially in supermarkets, it was an ocean of poor quality wines. The 90s was a period of time when an image of wine as a luxury good was created. New millennium brought new waves, and wine culture began to develop. Of course, one of the most important events happened in 2004, when Poland became a part of European Union and free movement of goods and people caused the economy boom. After the crisis in 2008, we had a very dynamic growth and wealth of Poles, which are the key factors of the wine market. Of course, 2020 and COVID, it's another challenge for us, like for the whole wine world. Just a few facts and figures. 38 million people live in Poland, which put us in 90th place in Europe. But what is very important, our disposable income position us in 29th place in European Union. And the Polish people has only half of the amount to spend than average citizen of the European Union. This economic distance is decreasing, of course, year by year, thanks to hard work of the Polish society. But as you can see on the map, which with the purchasing power index published by GfK report, we still have to run faster than others for the runaway economy train. Fortunately for us, we can say that some part of Polish society fall in love with wine, and import growth is quite impressive, as you can see on this slide. Italy is the country from which the most wine has been imported to Poland in recent years. Even 5 years ago, an area, Bulgaria was the first country, but recent years we have seen as an absolute boom in Italian wines, and figures of import, both in volume and in value, as you can see, are very impressive. And a question for you guys, do you know which wine from Italy is responsible for this growth? Prosecco is the king, as probably also like in other countries. And here we can find another interesting fact that Prosecco significantly consumers by women. So we can say that our queens and our princesses are responsible for this impressive growth. Wine consumption per capita in Poland is still very low. But according to other countries like Germany or the United Kingdom, is growing. The Wine Intelligence, in their report published just a few weeks ago, positioned Poland in the second place, the most globally attractive wine market. Only South Korea is ahead of us. After this background, let's take a look at what and how the Polish people consume the alcohol beverages. I know that probably in many of you still exists the stereotype that Poland is a vodka country. This era definitely finished when communism fell, and vodka consumption is growing down year by year. But we can say that Poland has become a beer country. The beer beverage is number one. The position of wine is in the market share is not so impressive. It's only an 8% in total. But when we look at this data a little bit closer, we can see that in Warsaw, the market share of wine is 25%. And this is the first insight we will focus on further. On this table published by KPMG, we can find the data about the retail distribution channels and the differences between the beer, vodka, and wine and vodka and spirits, and where all these beverages are bought by the Polish customers. Especially data about on-trade channels might be interesting for you. Only 4% of wine people buy in the restaurant, bars, and others. Here you can see more details about wine. And this is the first huge difference between Poland and Italy. When you look at the on-trade channels, KPMG published this report 5 years ago. And of course, the market is changing. But one fact is no doubt. Poles occasionally drink wine in a restaurant. And why? Because they don't go to the restaurant so often like people in other countries. And I have to say, wines in Polish restaurants are extremely expensive. And especially when we look at this fact in the context of households' disposable income. Another interesting difference between the Polish and Italian wine market is the fact that in Italy, wine drink all people all over the country. In Poland, the main target who is responsible for 80% of the wine consumption lives in a large agglomeration, is between 25 and 45, 50 years old, earns about average, and represents high qualified professional group. So we can say that wine in Poland is a middle-class beverage. So how we drink wine in Poland? Let's focus on this topic. As I told you earlier, the middle class is the most important part of the Polish society from the wine consumption point of view. So to understand the behavior in this context, we have to look at the average plan of the day, the average representative of this group. The day starts very early in the morning. Wake up time is around 6 or 7 o'clock. Most Poles eat breakfast at home before going out, and breakfast is quite a large meal. I remember my mom always saying that breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it has to provide energy for the most productive hours of our activity. Some companies, all administration start working at 7. School, universities, most companies start work at 8. What is very important, there is no official lunch break in Poland. Warsaw is exception because there are headquarters of international corporation. But most companies have a little 30 minutes break. We call it the second breakfast, which is like a brunch. Most often it's a sandwich. It's a cold meal. And it is very popular also. Prepare a meal in advance at home and then heat it at work, at the office, in the microwaves because we don't eat lunch during work. The main meal of the day it's dinner, but we eat the dinner not like in Italy at the evening, but we eat dinner at home, approximately around 4 or 5 p.m. That is why whenever Poles come the first time in Italy, are in shock when all restaurants in Italy are closed between 3 and 7 o'clock p.m. As we eat a large meal around 4 or 5 p.m., our supper is eaten around 7 and 8 o'clock in the evening, and there is rather light meals. Most often it's a sandwich, maybe some sausage. And as you can imagine, for the middle class, healthy lifestyle is very important. And lots of doctors and media, we can hear and say that eating a meal after 7 p.m. is very unhealthy, and more people are following it. As you can see, this life cycle and the daily cycle has consequences for the wine consumption, because we don't eat lunches. And when we eat it, it is absolutely unacceptable socially and by employers to drink wine while working. This is another differences between the Poland and Italy. And we eat the main meal of the day around 4 or 5, as I told you earlier, which is in fact in the middle of the free time part of the day. So it's a time for the sports, for family, for other activities, and there is no space to drink wine during these activities. Very often the middle class, people from the middle class has to drive the children for the practice, for the training, something like that, and it's impossible to drink wine during that. So only the evening is left to drink wine, but most often the wine is drink without food, or drink with a light supper, with a piece of cheese, with some cold cuts. We very often drink wine while relaxing in the evening, while reading a book, watching TV, watching Netflix, etc. So this is why the wines from Puglia also are so popular in Poland. If the average wine drinker in Poland doesn't like the high tannic in wine and doesn't like wine with high acidity, the fact that among Italian wines, Primitivo is number one, it's not by accident, but it comes from our consumption model. That's why when we drink a glass of Prosecco, it is more often extra dry than brut. And this is why Ripasso is becoming more and more popular in Poland. But what is one of the most important issues to understand the Polish wine market is to realize that in Poland, wine is not only a food companion, but wine became a part of our lifestyle. Group of people on the same level of living treat wine as a drink that accompanies spending free time, meeting friends, or relaxing after work. We are witnessing the social changes in which wine is replacing other spirits to celebrate important events like a birthday or wedding. Let me tell you some interesting fact that young people, when inviting guests to a wedding, asking the invitation to give them a bottle of wine instead of flowers. All these facts that I'm telling you have led to the situation that today wine is not longer a luxury good like was in the 90s, but becomes a part of life. And we are seeing no spectacular increase in overall values, but general statistic doesn't fully reflect the essence of the phenomena because the structure of the consumption is changing. We drink more, better wines. So the premiumization of the market is one of the most important trends. Of course, we have to talk about the legal situation on the wine market in Poland because it is critical when we are thinking about the perspective for growing. A few years ago, Wojciech Bońkowski, one of the famous Polish wine author and journalists, analyzed data from European markets regarding legal regulations and restriction, and he considered a few indicators like acceptable blood alcohol level, wine marketing, business restriction and taxation, and finally the possibility of selling wine by the internet. And Wojciech gave weight to each of these indicators and developed his own index. After his analysis, we can say that Poland is the most restrictive wine country in Europe, even with harder regulations than Scandinavian country when monopoly exists. But the saddest thing is that all the initiatives undertaken so far, but by government institutions, are focused on increasing restriction and even partial prohibition, then promoting a wine culture and then positively affects the solution of alcoholism. Unfortunately, I don't see any lights in this tunnel. And one of the worst thing and the nightmare for every wine importer in Poland are tax banderoles. This issue not only increases the cost of wine importing, but also extends the time of order fulfillment and brings many organizational problems and difficulties, not only for importers, especially small or medium size, but also for the wine producers. Consequently, it must be said that legal issues are one of the biggest barriers limiting the wine market in Poland. Among others, problems are cash flow, headcount. The Polish wine market is very young, so there are only few qualified employees who have a passion of wine, product knowledge, and interpersonal and sales skills. Also, logistics and exchange rate risk are another barriers. On the other side, we are a country with huge potential of growth. For low wine consumption per capita gives us a space to develop for the next decades, I think. The growing income of the society and the phenomena of premiumization are also very important. Availability of wine in Poland and fair prices are the effects of the hard working of importers. Also, it's another positive factor. Lifestyle changes, which we are observing, interest in cooking and the traveling are influenced positively in the wine market for sure. So at the end of our meeting, I would like to give you my 6 tips for wine producers wants to enter the Polish market. First of all, make some analysis in which wine sector you want to participate. One of the biggest problem for especially for small and medium-sized importers, that after they buy a pallet, the same wine appear on the shelves in the supermarket. Make also some research and try to find the cooperation companies at your level. I think that Michelle Shah, with her knowledge about the importers all over the world, but also from the Polish market, will be very helpful for you. Be open, because the importer probably will try to push you for the exclusivity. Forget about this. Exclusivity, in my opinion, is one of the biggest barriers to market development. And this is also a disadvantage for you, because you will close your opportunity to find another importer, maybe in other cities. get involved without your support, there will be no success. And you have to be ready for an extra work to sticking the banderoles on the top of the bottles. And you have to be patient because nothing comes easy in Poland. And think twice if you really want, because the Polish people are not easy to make a business with. They negotiate very tough. They love discounts and samples. But on the other hand, they are open, honest, and friendly people. I'm at your disposal. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So please feel free to ask your questions. And thank you very much for your time and the possibility to make a presentation.
Thank you, Sławek. That was really great. I think we have quite similar experience with the Polish market and wine business in Poland. We are both in this business since at least 1 decade, yes.
Yes.
So that was really, really informative, I think. And I saw many questions. And if you allow me to ask you the questions, some people asked us. So First question from Xenia Berta from Piemonte in Italy. Actually, you already answered that, but which Italian wines are more on request in Poland? And I think it goes also with a question about what is the image of Italian wine in Poland. I think we agree that the Poles really like Italian wines in general, yes?
Yes, of course. Italian wines are the most popular in Poland. And of course, it's a consequences of the fact that relations between Italy and Poland are very, very strong. And the people in Poland loves Italy, loves Italian cuisine, loves Italian people, and of course, loves Italian wines and Italian lifestyle also, I think.
Fantastic that you said that, because Lionel, you asked us about Italian wine style and lifestyle, and is it appreciated by Poles? And you already answered that it is very appreciated by Poles. And actually, I think that most of your clients would love to live like Italians every day.
Yeah, I want to live like Italians every day. That's my dream. That's my dream. But it's impossible in our reality.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question would be about a very important thing in wine business. So online sales. You already told us that the online sales in Poland are forbidden.
Yeah.
Yes. But Sławek, actually, you and me, we know that we can buy wines online in Poland.
Yes, we can. But when we look at the legal situation, very strict. It's prohibited.
Yeah.
So it's only the interpretation of the government institutions. So I think it's quite risky. At the beginning of my business, where I had an e-commerce platform, but after some very negative situation for other importers, I decided to switch off, and I'm waiting for the better times.
Yeah. So I even made an episode on YouTube in my show about it, because this is the question I think that most of the consumers in Poland are asking: Can I buy it? Can I buy the wine online? And Michel actually is asking us about: Can wineries ship to private consumers in Poland?
Yes, it's possible, because when if I got the good information about 90 liters can be sold without the banderoles, but only for the private customers, not on the B2B market.
Yeah, exactly.
Because on the B2B market, it has to be sticking the banderoles on the top of the bottle. Exactly.
Okay. Did you tell us a little bit about what are the prices Poles are able to pay for a bottle of wine?
Yes, I even got a slide for this, but it was not easy to select all the data. So the average price of the bottle of wine bought at the discount store and the supermarket is approximately 15 zloty. It's around 3.3 euro. Of course, different situation is in the specialist store sector, which I'm representing. In this sector, the average price is between 55 zloty, which is around 12 euros. But we have to share and we have to divide the Poland for the Warsaw. It's like an island, and other cities. So the first information about 50-55, it's for the rest of the cities, the rest agglomerations. But in Warsaw, the average price of the bottles is between 65 and 70 zloty, which is around 15 euros. And we can say that we are mentality close to German people.
Germany, yeah.
So we are very price sensitive about it. We have to say about it.
Yeah. If you are a winery and want to sell in Poland, you must know that we are really price sensitive, except of my city, Warsaw. But yes, and I have another question for you. Do you think? I have my answer, and I want to know your answer. Do you think that Poles are interested by points like the counterpoints or awards, medals, etc.? Is it important for the consumer in Poland?
I don't know how it's on the whole country. I can share with you my experiences with the meetings with my customers, and I can tell you that it's not so important. Of course, for the people who buys a wine like for a present, like a gift, it could be important. But for the wine consumers, most important for them is my team recommendations. They believe and they trust more my team recommendations than the medals and the awards which appears on the labels or on the bottles.
Yeah, I think that the medals and awards are very important in supermarkets, but in specialist shops, not so much. I agree with you actually, and also in Poles, people are more focused on, for example, Polish websites and Polish wine magazines than international. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So we need to finish, but I have last one question. I know that there are more questions online, but I'm sure that Sławek will be very happy to answer your questions if you ask him directly. You can also ask me questions if you have any for me. But the last question from Michela Aru: does wine appeal to young people, or maybe it is perceived as that brewerage?
Young people, it's a very interesting and very important group. We organize a lot of events for students. And because as I told you at the beginning, I am on the market for over a decade. And I observing that maybe for last 4 or 5 years, the group of students and the young people are one of the most interesting. They are looking for information. They want to know about wines much more than older people, and they very focused on wine. I love to meet the students and the young people in our tasting or in our events.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's related to the fact that in past, our parents, they were not drinking wine. So the Dutch brewerage, it's more vodka, and the wine is the thing the young people are drinking. So I think
we are the first generations that we have a possibility to learn our children about wines, and we can show the young generations how wine can be good alcohol beverages, which is normal everyday companion, not only for special occasion.
Yeah, and how it can be part of the culture. Okay. Yeah, Sławek, thank you so much, and thank you all for your questions and interest in Polish market. And please ask us questions, and we will be happy to answer you. Yes.
It was a huge pleasure for me, guys. Thank you so much for the invitation, and enjoy your day and the rest of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
With regards. Ciao.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, chin chin.